Okay, just to give you a little overview here, I'm in the process of making peanut brittle. I'll make about 34 pounds of peanut brittle this year. I do that about every year. I don't know how long. I got a list of people that want my peanut brittle, so and every year the list seems to grow. I guess I don't know. People just want free candy, or if they like my peanut brittle. But that's where I'm at. So right now I just got through dumping in here a pail of butter and 1 pound of peanuts. 41 grams of butter and 1 pound of peanuts. So I just dumped that in there, and I put it in there when it gets, the temperature gets up to the soft ball, 20, 34, about 240. And then I got to raise that up to 300 to get a hard crack. And then I'll add some baking soda, vanilla, and water in there to give it some gas. And over here, I'm in the process of raising this temperature up to 240. That's got 300 grams of sugar in there, and which is 1.5 cups of sugar. It's got 1 cup of water, 236 grams, and 1 cup of syrup, 328. So I add that all in the pan. I put the sugar in first, and then I add the water, 1 cup, and to bring the weight up to 536 grams. And then I add 1 cup of syrup, and that'll bring it up to 864 grams. So I weigh everything so that each batch is basically going to be the same. It works out best for me. So everybody's getting the same, and it's easier for me to cook with weighing things in grams. So this is still heating up. I take my candy thermometer and I'll stick it in here, stick it in the pot, and wait until the temperature gets up to 240 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I'll add the peanuts and then raise it up to 310 for the hard crack, and then add the baking soda. And then I have in the oven, I had 2 cookie sheets with silicone pads on them. That way I don't have to butter the cookie sheets, so that and I keep this at like 200 degrees. I'll bring it out here and I'll set the cookie sheets down, and when the candy's done, I'll pour it on there, put this silicone glove on, and beat the heck out of it to level it off, to get it all down to the thickness of the peanuts. About, peanut is about 1/4 inch. So that's how thick the peanut brittle will be all the way across. It's kind of a simple method. So, and I always wear a hat because I don't want to get hair in the peanut brittle. Maybe if I send out some with hair in the peanut brittle, then I wouldn't have to make so much. Who knows? So, but the idea is to keep the hair out of the peanut brittle and just cook. So far today, I've cooked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds of peanuts. Counting these, each one will get a pound of peanuts in there. And that 1 pound of peanut with the sugar and the corn syrup. Each pound of peanuts will yield 2 pounds of peanut brittle. So it's easy math. It's pretty close. If you've ever cooked candy, you know you got to watch the temperatures real close. This temperature right now is at about 220, so it's got to go up 20 more degrees. But when you initially put it on, it takes a long time for the temperature to start to rise above 212, because all of the water that I put in there has to boil out before the temperature will raise above 212. As long as there's any water in there, the temperature will never raise above 212. So the water's got to leave before you can really start to make candy. But the peanuts are raw peanuts, so that's when they're cooking, you know. A raw peanut doesn't taste real good. But if you cook it long enough, it tastes pretty good. And you don't want to burn a batch, because that would be 2 pounds of peanuts. 2 pounds of candy gone, 1 pound of peanuts. And so, one time, a few years back, I thought I burnt it, but one batch, and it ended up it didn't burn, because you couldn't. It wasn't you couldn't taste it. So then I'll switch the camera over here. Whoops, I had music on, but I guess it stopped.
Story continues on the Mount Crumpet Cliffs with an expression.
So over here, yeah, this is the candy, and this here is cooling, and I'll just stack it up. When I get this next batch out, I'll add it to there. Maybe not. You'll see it. I don't know how long this video will go. But there's that's what I gotta check this temperature here. I'd like to have you see it when it comes off. Yeah, this has got about 10 more degrees to go, and I'll be able to add the peanuts in here. And I got this baking soda and water and vanilla sitting here, and the baking soda settles out of the liquid, so I gotta stir it. I gotta make sure I stir it before I dump it in the bucket or the kettle, whatever you want to call it. So the water is all out of this, and the temperature is on its way up. About 9 degrees more left to go. I kind of like to stagger these so that both kettles don't come due at the same time. It gets pretty bad when that happens, because I only have 2 cookie sheets ready for this. But this is at about 270 right now, and this is getting close over here. So I try to use the same size pot, same manufacturer, so the heat is about the same. All right, so this is at the softball now. So I'm just gonna dump the peanuts and the butter in here. And the temperature drops immediately when I drop that in there because the peanuts are room temperature and the butter, I guess, is at room temperature too. So it drops the heat down pretty much, but it'll build back up. When it gets like here, I have to be sure to be stirring it frequently. So the recipe is 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of syrup, corn syrup, 3 tablespoons of butter, which is 41 grams, and 1 pound of peanuts. And then the little baking soda thing there is 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of water, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and stir it. So this it's about 280. I'll bring you over here so you can see the pots. There you go. That's 280, and that's about 150. So different colors, different periods there for the syrup. So then I gotta make sure I got this labeled here, and then $2.80. Yep. Well, 290. So it's climbing. Pretty soon we'll be able to add the baking soda. To make peanut brittle, you gotta have candy thermometers. At least I do. There's a method where you can drop the syrup onto a piece of paper and see how it spreads or touches or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to take my thermometer out of here. Clean the peanuts off. Put that over here so that it cools and the liquid goes down. Now I'm going to take and stir this baking soda, and I think maybe I do that, I'll bring you up here so you can see better what's going on. So I pour that in there, and then I stir it really good. I got the burner off, so but the pan is still hot. And then I have to take and remove this cookie sheets. All right, I got those removed. And then I'll bring you back over here so you can see more of what's going on at this point. So I'll take this off the stove and I'll roll this one more time. Kind of helps to let that gas escape. Okay, and then I'm going to move this so I don't get cloth in my, and kind of spread that out a little bit like that, and kind of try to divide it between the two kettles. Okay, and then I'm going to set this over here. Run some water in there and take this and kind of spread it out, and take and put my glove on and take this and spank it. And then kind of bring it together. There, that way we get a uniform coverage. And then this will do the same. Spank it again. And then I gotta remove my hand because this side of this glove gets hot. There, it's all about a consistent thickness now. And then take the glove off, come over here and check this pot. And then this will just cool here. There we go. So I'll let it cool and then I'll move it over to the other side there. So then now I'm ready . To make another batch. So I'll show you how that starts off, and then all right. So I take this while that's cooling. I'll take this, take my scale. Let's see how I am if I'm in focus here. Yeah, I'll take my scale and add my liquid. I don't know. I put this on here. Turn the scale on. It zeros. And then I take the sugar and I'm going to add 300 grams. I got the scale set at grams, not at ounces. So 300 grams of sugar. There's 100, 200, 60, 70, 80, 90, 98, 300. 300 grams of sugar. There you can see it. All right, and so then to that 300 grams of sugar, I'm going to add 236 grams of water, which is 1 cup. All right, there's 1 cup. I'm going to add that. And it says I got 530 in there. 236. 536 I should have. So just to be accurate here, I'll add 536. I'll show you that. Right there. 536 grams of water. Now I'll add 328 grams of corn syrup, and that'll bring me up to 864 grams total in there. So let's see. There's 7, 8, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 867 grams. 4, 5, 6. I went 3 grams over, which I don't know, might be a teaspoon. There you go. 867, and I wanted 864. So now this is ready to go on the stove. So I take this over here, I put it on the stove. I made a mark on the gas burner here where I want that. I put just a little red dot there, kind of discreet. And I'm going to stir this a little bit and watch it. Yeah, it's climbing. 270. So I got to mix up my what do I got to mix up? Oh, I got to mix up the baking soda. Yeah, so you can see that. So the baking soda is 1.5 teaspoons. So this is a half measurement, half of the teaspoon measurement. So there's 1 teaspoon. I'm going to have to get more baking soda. There's 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. I mean 1.5. Thank you. And then 1 teaspoon of water. So there's a half. There's 1. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There's a half. There's 1. And then I gotta stir this. And stir this. And check the temperature. Well, it's at 290, so we're getting close to what we need. So I'm just going to turn this down a little bit and take these off of the sheets. So I can have my sheets. Alright, those are still warm. Where are we at? Okay, we're just approaching 300. I'm going to turn this up just for a second. I'm going to take my thermometer out. There we go. Set that in the sink. Take the other one out and put that in there. Mix this, and once again, stir the baking soda. Add it. Stir it. And then come over here and dump this on the sheet. And dump the other half on this sheet. You're looking at 2 pounds of peanut brittle on these 2 sheets. Pretty consistent. Alright, so I can move that around a little bit. Take and move this around. Put the glove on. And spank it. There we go. Take this. Switch hands. there we go. So, I'll scrape this out a little bit. Put it in this dish for the ice cream topping. Try to save as much as possible. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, there, I'm gonna stop the video now. I got that one pot cooking over there. I'm gonna stop, after that pot's done, I'm going to finish up so that I can get ready to go to church.